Welcome to the Mom Boss Unfiltered, the podcast where unfiltered is queen and BS gets left at the door. I'm your host, Marissa Brennan, mom of three, DIY junkie, sales executive, entrepreneur, project obsessed, husband obsessed, and lover of all things unfiltered, while trying to keep all the balls in the air. Whether you're in sales, building a business, or just here for the laughs, rants, and practical advice, you're in the right place. We talk about wins, face plants, and the honest moments no one wants to talk about. So grab your coffee or your cocktail and let's get unfiltered. Welcome back to the Mom Boss Unfiltered, friends. I am fresh post hysterectomy coming back to you. And that's kind of what this episode's going to be about. I went into this surgery thinking the hardest part would be probably the physical recovery. And while that's partly true, it's not necessarily the hardest part. It's just the hardest part is everything I didn't expect to feel after the fact. No one really prepares you kind of for the emotional side of kind of closing that chapter in your life, especially as a woman. So I'm not going to give medical advice or anything on this surgery. I'm just kind of my real life experience as what we call a hister sister and get into it. So without further ado, let's start this podcast. If you could see the jerry-rigged shit I have set up for this podcast, you'd be like, wow, she is not a profesh. But you can't see it. That's the trick. But it is like at any moment I'm scared something is going to go down. So if there's an abrupt pause, you know why. But anyways, glad to be back. 2 weeks post hysterectomy. It's been kind of a blur the last 2 weeks. So just getting back into the swing of things, getting the energy up to do this podcast. But I feel compelled to talk through what I've been feeling leading up to, during, and after so far. And things not to do that I did that don't help you. And just shoot the shit about life. And I have to say, I have a lot of drama in my family, and you guys, the podcast episodes that would create would be incredible, but I can't talk about any of it. So it's super frustrating because it's straight up like drama level of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like not to that extent, a little bit to that extent, but not, you know what I mean? But it would be some good fucking conversation. But anyways, I digress. So we're going to talk about this instead. I get tired really easily, and I'm ready to move on from that part of this recovery. But as far as life is going, this has been kind of a nice pause for our family. It's been a welcomed reset. And I timed it over the kids' spring break. So we were home the entire spring break. Luckily, there were other kids in the neighborhood that were also home. So they got to live there almost like their summer lives over spring break. And they loved every second of it. And we were home, which they loved. No sports, no obligations. A ton of our friends were out of town. So there wasn't anything going on that front. And I couldn't do anything. So we were just home. And they lived for it. So it made me realize, like, we might be a little too busy in our lives to the point where our kids need some downtime at home. And I am going to continue to hopefully try and be mindful of that as we move forward from this. But it just kind of forced us all to slow down and a little reset and the kids just to have fun. So it was very welcomed. And you don't get downtime like this as a working parent often. So I definitely am not taking advantage of that, how nice that is. And I am enjoying it all while not being able to do much of anything. So I end up resting a lot, which my brain does not do well with. And we'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, that's where we've been. That's what we've been doing. rolled out my app into a school, so I've been monitoring that. Work has been busy. I've been able to work a lot from home, which has been nice to stay on track. So yeah, our lives have definitely assisted in making this an easier time to recover and the ability to slow down. So for that, I am forever grateful for. But I get the question a lot, like, what led you to this decision of getting a partial hysterectomy? Because it wasn't easy and it didn't happen overnight. I had some issues in the past. After every kid, my cycle just got worse and worse, and the pain just got worse and worse. And finally, I got diagnosed with a condition called, I don't know what the right way to call it, but I just say adenomyosis. It was so painful. And growing up, like, I never had cramps. I never was in pain. I never had issues with my period at all, not hormones, nothing. And I just, after every kid, it just got worse, like debilitating, circulating pain. And I knew it wasn't normal, but I thought, well, maybe because I had 2 out of my 3 births were C-section, so maybe scar tissue. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. So I just kind of like WebMD'd it, and it never really gave me answers. So when I went to the ER last year, they finally gave me the condition, and that is what ended up being that. I don't have endometriosis. I don't have any cancer scares, nothing like that. It was just truly pain. But the options for that condition are either something called an ablation, where they burn the inside, or just remove it. And she's like, if you're done having kids, the cure all is to remove it, the uterus. So you make the choice. So I got that diagnosis in September of 2025 and sat on it. Decided maybe if I go through a few more cycles, like, how bad is it really? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, is it really a 10 every time, or am I just being dramatic? And it just keeps getting worse and kept getting worse and worse. So I finally decided to move forward with it. We had long talks about, like, our family. Are we done with kids? I'm 38. My husband's 39. It's not easy anymore. And we have 3 healthy, beautiful kids. So we just decided we're done, right? Like, let's just go forward. And so I was at peace with it. And then I kind of just put that family planning side of it, emotional side of it, to the back burner. And then when we checked in for surgery, one of the nurses came in and was so gentle and so nice. And it was just like, hey, over the next 6 weeks when you're recovering and all you have to do is think and be in your brain because you can't do much of anything else, remember to take it easy on yourself, because emotionally there's going to be a lot of waves that you go through, grief, happiness, all the things, and you need to give yourself grace on that. And up until that moment, I really didn't think about it on that side of things, but then that felt like a huge holy shit, this is truly the end of my body producing children. That is so crazy. And you lead up to that part of your life and it's like, okay, how many kids are we going to have? How many kids do we want? Blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's over. It hit me fast. And pre-surgery, the emotional side of it, I'm not an emotional person. So I didn't really it never really creeped into my brain. It was more the physical recovery that was taking a toll on me in getting in the right mindset pre-surgery, because I knew it was going to be a long process. It's an extensive surgery and I work out every morning, and I wasn't going to be able to do that for at least 6 weeks. No, this might be TMI, but no sexy time, none of that for at least 6 weeks. So had to get into the right mindset pre-surgery before I went under the knife, that's kind of all I was thinking about. The emotional side of it, never really thought about until that moment. And I don't know, logically, I knew this was the right decision. Emotionally, I'm still kind of catching up to that. I think because I'm still in the thick of everything, I'm still in the suck. It's taking an emotional toll on my brain. So it just hasn't quite caught up there, even though logically I know long term this is going to be the best decision I've ever made. And that's what I hear 10 out of 10 times from other women who have gone through this moment. So that's kind of where my brain is at. You just, I don't know. I just get hit with these like unexpected waves of grief. Cause like I said, I'm in my head. All I have to do is sit there and think, and I have no outlets right now. And I find myself sometimes, like, we went to the doctor yesterday for my 2-week post-op appointment, and went to my 2-week post-op appointment, and it's at my OBGYN, the doctor who handled it. She's delivered all of our babies, and just talking through the recovery and how I'm feeling and everything's normal and yada, yada, yada. But while I was waiting to go back to her, there's all these young families in their first pregnancies, however many pregnancies, but they're all everybody in the waiting room on that day was there for like their 26-week checkup, or they just found out they were pregnant. And I found myself getting all up in my feels, because it was like, I will never do that again. I'll never walk into this office checking to see my pregnancy and seeing a baby on the screen and planning our delivery and how all that's going to go out. And it hit me real hard in the feelers. So, it was a wake up call. Like, that part of my life is over, and I didn't give myself a chance to really grieve that. And now I am. It's just the finality of it all, the what ifs, everybody plays that what if game. Like, what if in 2 years I wake up and I want to have another kid, which I don't foresee that happening, or else I wouldn't have made this decision. We had kids younger to be done younger, right? Like, I don't want to go into my 40s, like, having a brand new baby. Like, we have a good flow with our 3. We've had 3 healthy babies, 3 healthy pregnancies. Like, all of that logically makes sense in my head, but just the finality of no longer even having the option, it just hit me like a bag of bricks. And I feel like womanhood is rooted so deeply in your ability to have kids and build a family. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like there's like an identity shift happening in me. Like, okay, like, we're moving on from that phase of my life, and what's next, right? And I don't know what's on the horizon. I know what I envision for myself. I can see like big picture where I see us in 5-10 years, but if that ever comes true, I mean, hopefully I can manifest that hard that it will, but I have to like kind of rebuild my identity beyond being a child bearer, right? Now I just get to immerse myself into the different levels of motherhood that I'm in, with an 11-year-old girl, a 9-year-old girl, and a 5-year-old boy. So I am excited for that identity shift. It's just something I've got to sit with and get more comfortable with, if we're being honest. And it just drudged up feelings that I just didn't expect. I didn't give myself a chance to think about those, feel those, and talk through them and move past that. So we're in it. We're in the thick of it. Because I feel like even when you're done having kids, even when the decision you made is the right decision, there's still a part of you that realizes that that chapter is officially closed. Like, life is moving forward. And it's hard when you're grieving something that you willfully chose, right? So that's where we're at currently emotionally, because I am confident in my decision, but I'm still allowing myself to grieve that part of my life. And give myself grace because it's a quiet ending, right? A ending that I chose, but it still feels a little bit heavy. And I know probably in 6 months I'll feel like, oh my gosh, like this was good. Like this was a good choice. We're glad we did this. So next to the emotional toll and up and downs throughout this, the hardest part has been being forced to rest. My active brain does not do well with rest. My brain just is going a million miles a minute. That's why I'm like, have my hands dabbled in everything. And having no physical outlet has been the most challenging thing, one of the most challenging things I've ever gone through. And before you like make fun of me or whatever, yes, I've had 2 C-sections. And those are also downtime, but you have a brand new baby that is taking up all of your time, right? Like all of your efforts are going towards feeding, nurturing yourself, taking care of that baby, making sure you're doing all the right things, washing the bottle, like everything. Whereas this recovery, same length of time, there's no little tiny human that you're worried about taking care of. You're just literally sitting there. And I don't even hardly watch TV. Like the only TV I watch is at night. And like right before bed, and it's maybe like 20 minutes of it. And so I've burned through so many episodes of things that I've been wanting to watch, which is cool and all, but I just feel like a piece of shit. Like I can't do anything. And I don't have the ability to sit still. Like that's just not in me. I always joke that our couch, this cheap ass American furniture couch, has lasted so long in our household because we don't sit. We're never home. We're just doing things. If we're home, we're outside. Like we just don't sit on it. And I've seen my couch way more than I have ever wanted to the last couple weeks than I have in the last 7 years. So that takes a mental toll on me as well, because my brain, I just have a busy brain. I have ideas. I have things I want to do, but I can't lift anything over 10 pounds. I can't like vacuum. I can't mop. I can't make that motion because you're run the risk of popping a stitch internally. And then the clock starts all over again. And I do not want that, like at all. And I have realized my identity is very much tied to productivity. And with that, there is this alarming sense of discomfort in slowing down. And like, I didn't realize that until I couldn't do anything, right? Like while I've been home, I'm like, I want to clean out the ice maker. So I had to have my husband be here to do that. We're redoing all of our rugs in the house because dogs, and they have destroyed them. And one of our dogs is elderly and he keeps peeing everywhere. So I am like removing all of the dog urine and dog urine smelling rugs, if you will. And I can't do that. I can't move tables. I can't move chairs. So I have to rely on my husband to do that. And so just the inability physically to do anything is killing me. And I really feel like rest isn't hard because we don't have time. It's hard because we don't know who we are without doing things. Like this day and age, if you're not doing the most all the time, then you're a lazy piece of shit. And that's like been embedded in my head. And I have had to pep talk myself a lot through this. But luckily a woman's body is so smart. Like my body has absolutely told me to slow down in different ways when I'm trying to do too much too soon. And it's been alarming a couple of times. And then you have to go rest. And so that's nice that there is like a little checks and balance system within your own body. But just mentally, I start to spiral when I'm just sitting still. And then I start to feel guilty because I'm not being the best mom that I can right now because I can't do all these things. And it's taking a toll on me. And I miss working out and I miss having that outlet. And yeah, I just miss being a solid contributor of this family. And I know 6 weeks will go by in no time. Right now, it feels like it's a snail's pace. But even at 6 weeks, I don't know how much I'll be clear to do. Like, she has to go in and check everything. So I'm not holding on to that 6 week marker. Like, my whole life is going to open up again. So I am for sure probably getting back on a GLP-1 because I cannot work out, and I refuse to let go of all the work that I have put in the last few years to get my body back. And so shoot me. I'm cheating on that because I don't want to just turn into this sloth. And I've started to do laps around our little cul-de-sac, which has been helpful for my mental health. And luckily, our weather has been conducive to that. God, if it was crappy weather, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'm looking out the window right now. I'm like, it's like almost 80 degrees in March, which is crazy. We're in Colorado. But if I didn't have the ability to go outside, I think I might lose my mind, truly. My poor husband. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But I mean, this healing requires stillness. There's just no two ways about it. Even when my mind resists it, I have to be still sometimes. I have to just rest. And even if I can't fall asleep, I have to just remind myself to rest because this recovery cannot be rushed. And that's physically or emotionally. Like, it's just, there's no quick way into it. So I have realized, though, that stillness confronts me in ways that busyness never does, because when your brain is able to run 1,000,000 miles a minute, you don't hear all the other things, right? Like, you're focused on the task at hand, and right now there's no tasks at hand. So it's confronting me in that I've wrapped up my identity in being busy. And I feel like I need to adjust that as well. That it's not a healthy balance in life. Then I kind of want to peel back this whole recovery, surgery, etc. In a more zoomed out perspective, if you will, in the fact that life comes at you really fucking fast. The fact that I'm already here, like at this point where I'm done having kids, I'm not 40 yet, but it's coming, makes you like realize how quickly life shifts, like fast and furious. And I think you just like, and in parenthood, you just get lost in parenting your kids, right? And like being everything to them. And all of a sudden you wake up and here you are. And these seasons of life change before you have a chance to process them. And when people tell you like, enjoy it, like really take it all in, like they are not kidding. Soak in every single minute, because all of a sudden you're under the knife getting hysterectomy and not having any more babies when you just felt like you had your first baby. And the becoming a mom for the first time to a newborn is over. And now we're in the phase of parenthood where we help them just be good little humans, good contributors to society. And the newborn phase is all gone. Like, I will never buy tiny baby clothes again for myself. I will for my friends if they have any more kids, but not for me. And it's just like 1 minute you're in one chapter and the next you're closing it without fully realizing it. And I don't know, I find myself, because my brain is racing 1,000,000 miles a minute, just like kind of focusing probably too much, probably an unhealthy amount on aging and what that means and what that looks like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if the first 38 years of my life went by like this, you know, I'm going to be 56 in no time, the next 38 years. Like, what the fuck is that shit? And I just sit there and think about things like that. And I think about death, and I think about like how much that scares me. And then I have to like snap myself out of it, put on something dumb or funny, and think about something else, because I will spiral into that. And I think just these closing of these big chapters terrifies the shit out of me. And I didn't realize how much it would terrify the shit out of me, because we are getting to that point. Like, I don't know. And sometimes it hits me at work too. Like, some of our reps that we've hired recently are in their 20s. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm no longer like the young buck on the group. I'm like I'm not middle-aged, maybe middle-aged. I don't even know what they consider middle-aged anymore, but I'm the 38-year-old on the team now. Like, I'm no longer I'm not old, but I'm not young anymore. Like I'm in this weird middle transition phase, and it scares the shit out of me. I feel like I was just painting the town red, downtown Denver, just going crazy, having a good old time, not having a care in the world, and boom, 3 kids, husband, and here we are. So, and your identity shifts with all these phases too. And it's like you want to hold on to pieces of your identity that you love so much, but sometimes the next chapter just doesn't align with that, and then you kind of morph into this new variation of yourself, and it's just like, whew, okay, here we are. Like, what's next? Where are we at next? And I don't know that I hope I'm not alone in thinking this way and going through these mind fucks, if you will, or if just this hysterectomy has like thrusted me into that, because I have nothing else to spend my thoughts on at the moment. I don't know, but if I'm alone in this, just don't tell me, okay? But I do have to say, having a support system throughout something like this is the most important thing anyone could do for themselves if you're going through a surgery like this or an emotional thing like this. And my husband and our tribe of people has been insanely helpful, and I could not imagine going through this without having these people in our lives, because it just speaks volumes. My husband is the most caring, nurturing, more nurturing than I am by far, person in the entire world. Like, he is like on me, like, don't do that. I'll do this for you. Let me help you out of bed. What do you need? How can I support you? How can I show up for you right now? Like, emotionally, physically, comes to meet with me to all the appointments, was there throughout the whole search, like the most caring human alive. And without him, I wouldn't. Like, he forces me outside to go walk around, takes me to lunch, calls and checks on me all the time. Like, I truly couldn't go through this without his support. And so having that kind of rooted support to ground you is one of the best things you could do for yourself if you're thinking about going through something like this. Same with our tribe. I mean, the first week we didn't cook dinner one time. I don't think. Someone was always there to bring us something. Flowers galore. One of our friends brought over like this lavender heating pad. Another friend brought a walker, which actually was super helpful that first week. Oh my gosh, just endless amounts of help, checking in, helping with the kids, coordinating stuff in the house. Our nanny stayed on and helped out even more than she has to, because I'm someone who's used to being the one holding it all together, right? And this experience has forced me to receive more and to let people pour into me. But what it also has taught me is to make sure I show up for people in these phases as well. Like, I want to be a great friend to them as well, because it was so helpful for me. I want to make sure I always pay it forward. And I will say, the way your partner shows up in moments like this matters more than almost anything. Like, the support I have felt from him is like, I can't even put words to it. And it makes me kind of like tear up, because I don't think I've ever been that good of a supportive, like, nurturing person, but I will now, because I can see how much it helps. But also people not minimizing the experience. Like, I always tell Matt, I'm like, it's hard, like, going out in public because I walk so slow, because everything's still just kind of like waking up and like, healing, and it's inflamed, and I'm only 2 weeks in a day past this at the time of recording this. And So I feel like when I go out, people are like looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? Like, because it's kind of like a silent issue, right? You can't see it externally, but he never minimizes the experience, nor does anybody else who's in my circle. None of them minimize the experience. And that helps. It helps me feel validated in the fact that I do feel like sometimes like shit. There's so much inflammation. I feel like I'm bloated as hell, which I am. I don't feel my best self, and them not minimizing it allows space for me to feel the way that I do. So that's been very nice and very grounding to feel validated in the way that I do feel. And it's just the consistency of people showing up. And it's so funny, like people will surprise you, right? In these moments, like the people you thought that would be consistently showing up don't, but the people you never had on your radar do. It's just very interesting to see who shows up for you. But being cared for in those ways is ultra healing and makes me feel less like alone in this journey. And I am so appreciative of that. So if you're ever wondering like how to help someone in that space, and this could be for any sort of thing that people are going through, is just to be there consistently for emotional support, physical support if needed, helping out logistics for kids, cooking a meal. Like that is so impactful. Like I cannot even express to you how impactful that is. Helping drop off kids, just calling and checking in so they feel less alone, and just being patient with folks who are kind of going through it is the most incredible thing. And it has made me feel very loved and very blessed with the tribe and with my husband and the support that we have as a unit. So, and my advice to anyone thinking about doing this or going through it, because I heard it's kind of becoming more common, more routine, is that you're allowed to feel confident in your choice, but emotional at the same time. Two things can be true at once, and that is okay. And to prepare yourself for the physical recovery, because it is not overnight, despite what you think and what your body may be telling you, also to give yourself space for the emotional side of it. And post-op, if you start to feel things you didn't expect, you're not alone in that. And do not go down, like I did, a TikTok rabbit hole. Like there were so many more negative experiences that came across my feed than positive. And overall, it is a really positive surgery. Like I already feel better, even with all the inflammation and everything. Like I feel better than I did before, than I did before with the adenomyosis condition. Like I already know it's going to be amazing, and I'll never have to worry about, my cycle again, like over the summer or anything like that. So don't go down a TikTok rabbit hole, because no two experiences are the exact same. And for some reason, the negative always shows up more prevalent than the positive. And that's what happened to me. And I got a little scared, but it's been fine. It's been manageable. I think it's just, emotionally it just takes a toll on you, because your whole routine, your whole life is kind of upended at the moment. But this too shall pass. Get a nice pillow, ice pack, heating pack, and have support. That is those are the main things I can tell you when you're going into this. And this experience has taught me that healing isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It's an adjustment in your identity. And sometimes the hardest part isn't necessarily the surgery. It's learning how to slow down and let yourself truly heal. Because without doing that, you will regret it. And you can honor and appreciate and be thankful for where you have been and still step fully into what's next. And I am looking forward to seeing what that is as we go along. So with that, y'all, let's wrap this up. And let me remind you, rest is uncomfortable when you're used to being everything to everyone. And being supported is a skill that we don't talk about enough or give enough credit to. And that you don't have to rush into your next chapter. Just meet your body where it's at. Enjoy the stillness while you can. And if you have any questions, I'm an open book. Please reach out via DM or send me a message or comment on here. This is a different kind of episode because I'm just talking through my process and what I've been going through the last couple weeks. So thank you for being here. If there's any guys listening, if you've made it this far, I'm fully impressed. But there are nuggets for you to support your partner in their journey if that is what is on the docket in your lives. And rest isn't easy, right? When you have to rest, and you don't know how at the end of the day. That's my problem. So enjoy it, because probably one of the fewer times in life, if you're going through this, that you get the rest, the amount of rest that you need. And just, if you have someone in your life going through something like this, be there to support them, because support is everything in seasons like this. So with that being said, thanks for being here. As always, appreciate you, Mom Boss Unfiltered Baddies, and we'll chat on the next one. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Mom Boss Unfiltered. I want you to know that I don't take it lightly that you're here listening, sharing space with me in the middle of your busy, beautiful, messy life. Whether you're here for the laughs, the real talk, some practical advice, or just a moment to not feel so alone, I am so glad you chose my little corner of the internet. Until next time, my friends, take care of yourself, stay honest, stay real, and most importantly, stay unfiltered.